AC, A.K.A. Farrell. Yo, I just wanted to come on here because I'm going to try to make the video of Jordan mixtape video. I'm going to try to do that um, probably later on today. Hope y'all subscribe and like. Let's get this out the way. In the background, I don't know if you see the background, that's Michael Jordan when he was a Wizard, and he's blocking. He's about to block a guy named Mercer. He used to play for Chicago Bulls. He wasn't a great player. I mean, he wasn't that. He didn't play that long in the NBA. He played for a couple of teams. Then he had a lot of injuries. But Jordan is blocking his shot with two hands, and this is Jordan at 42 years old. Now, like I always tell people, I'm 50 years old. And people always be like, oh, you always got to say your age. Yes, I do. Because people don't understand that when Jordan got drafted, I was young. I wasn't into basketball. But at least around, I say, um, 86, probably to 88, I started getting into basketball. I started watching my Sixers, Barkley, and many other great players that we had on our team at that time. Before Barkley got into his little, mindset that he wanted to be traded away from the Sixers, and it ended up going to Phoenix. He was about to go to the Lakers, but the Sixers voided that, so he couldn't go to the Lakers to play with Magic Johnson. He got mad, and he really didn't want to play too much for the Sixers anymore after that. But when Jordan and Barkley got drafted in the same draft class, everybody knew that Jordan was going to be something, but nobody didn't know Jordan was going to be what he was. He even said that he didn't know what he was going to be come when he came into the NBA because he was just fresh out of college. He only did 3 years. Fresh out of college, coming into an NBA team that wasn't good at all, never made the playoffs. So Jordan had to come in there and help build that team. Now, they didn't have great coaching at the while. I still love Phil Collins. I don't know what people don't like about him. I like Collins. I always did. Even though that he didn't get the pieces to actually work with Michael Jordan until Phil Jackson came in with Tex Winters, and that's when the Bulls started getting better through the triangle. See, the thing is that everybody believes that Phil Jackson is one that created the triangle, but he wasn't the one that created the triangle. It was Tex Winters. And I made a video about this before, and everybody said, well, he's the greatest coach of all time. Yes, he's the greatest motivator of all time. I don't think he's the greatest coach of all time. I think he's the greatest motivator because you being a coach, you got to actually develop your own plays. He didn't develop his own plays. Even though he knew how to substitute players, bring in players at a certain time of late games when he needs to bring in defense, he needs to bring in scoring, he needs to bring the best foul shooter in the game to help seal the game. Yeah, he was great at doing that, but he wasn't the coach that actually knew how to game plan when it comes to the triangle, because he had to learn the triangle from Tex Winters because that was his offense what he used in college when he was coaching college. And then he came to the NBA. He brought it to the NBA. Phil Jackson liked it, and then he wanted to bring it to the Bulls. And when he did bring it to the Bulls, when he was an assistant with the Bulls, when he became after being an assistant with the Bulls, he became the head coach. He pulled Jordan aside and said, listen, man, let me tell you something. You need to learn how to pass the ball, get your players involved. Jordan didn't like that. Jordan didn't like the scheme. Jordan hated it. He like, I don't want to share the ball. I mean? I'm putting up 40, 30, 50 points a game. I mean? I'm leading the league in scoring. I'm leading the league in steals. I'm up there in assists. So why do I need to pass the ball? Just like Kobe did when Kobe came. Because like I said, I tell people Kobe Bryant didn't play for 3 years with the Lakers. And when he started coming, he started the ball hog. And Shaq saw that. Shaq didn't like it. Because Shaq was the actually, when you played with it, was before they got Phil Jackson. And when they got Phil Jackson, he did the same thing to Kobe. He said, look, Kobe, you got to learn how to play within the triangle. Because Shaq is going to be the primary scorer in the triangle. So Kobe had to get used to being the second best player on the team, and Shaq was the first best player on the team. But Kobe averaged more points than Shaq. He averaged 28. I think Shaq only averaged 26 points a game during the time of their championships. So I think Shaq really didn't like that. And then Kobe started saying Shaq was getting lazy. He wouldn't get his stands in the post. He wouldn't draw any picks or anything like that. And then get himself back into the post. Because the triangle offense is basically you don't really need a center to play in a triangle. All you all can use forwards, and you can also use guards. That's why Jordan was in the post all the time. People didn't know that Jordan played a lot more in the post than he played on the wing. And Jordan's a guard, and Jordan's a wing player. So basically, Jordan always played in the post. Even when he came into the league, Jordan always played in the post. So when I seen Jordan started to be in the post more, and then he started doing the fadeaway. He was getting people say, well, he never played against the zone. Are you serious? Jordan did play against zone. Who do you think a double team is? How do you double team? You double team in the zone. You can't double team in the man. And if you double team in the man, you have to stay closer to your man. But I know people say, well, back then they didn't shoot a lot of threes, so you could double team because you didn't shoot a lot of threes because you had a lot of players that were weak perimeter shooters, so they couldn't shoot threes, so you could actually come off and double because the players would probably have to cut to the basket, then actually shoot threes. Because today you see a lot of players stay on the 3-point line and they don't move around. They stand there and they want the ball, but they don't cut to the basket. So the triangle offense to me is the best offense that ever been invented because it's only one side of the court. And the triangle offense is what the triangle offense look like. It's a triangle. It's your two guards and you have somebody in the post. On the 3-point line and you have somebody in the post. Now, Jordan, really didn't have to play in the post that much. He could come out the post, it'll be Horace Grant, maybe it'll be Cartwright, maybe it'll be Luke Longley, maybe it'll be Winnington, maybe it'll probably be, sometimes it'll be Rodman, sometimes it'll be Pippen, sometimes it'll be Harper. Anybody could play in the post. Even, I remember B.J. Armstrong and even motherfucking Paxton was in the post. Because you didn't really need a big man to play in the post, which honestly everybody think the post is. It has to do with a big man. It doesn't. It deals with everybody that you only got one side of the court. You only play one side of the court. You pass. Whoever who's open takes a shot. You pass the ball in the post. They'll try to come up there and double team the person in the post. The person will pass it back out to the 3-point line or pass it back out to the wing. Throw it back in again. Shaq will get under the basket, turn around, dunk the basketball. Jordan will play the post. Get the ball, they'll bring the double team. If the person's cutting behind Jordan, he'll pass the ball. If they're cutting into the middle of the paint, he'll pass the ball. Or if Jordan passes the ball to the 3-point line, he'll get the ball back, he'll turn around, spin, and do a fadeaway. Or he'll pump fake, get you to jump, and he'll run right by you. Layup, dunk, get to the foul line. That's why I like the triangle offense. But people got to understand, Jordan really didn't develop all of this until 88. And this is what makes me mad about fans that will use Scottie Pippen as a way to say, well, if Jordan didn't have Scottie Pippen, he would have never won a championship. It's true. Scottie Pippen wasn't a Bull. If he went to Charlotte, he would not won a championship. Jordan would have probably won a championship, but it would have probably been harder for him to win a championship. Because Jordan, motivated Pippen he challenged Pippen to be the second best player on the team. Now, Pippen was a great defender in Arkansas when he went to college. And then he was drafted, but he didn't play for 2 years. He didn't play. My fault. He didn't start. And plus, he didn't play 1 year because he had a back injury. People don't know that Pippen didn't start his first year because he had a back injury. He had back surgery. See, people think Pippen just came in the league and started playing with Jordan and started winning championships. That wasn't true. Because when Jordan was playing with Pippen during playing the Pistons, the Bulls lost. The Bulls got swept. Phil Jackson was on that team too, coaching, and he got swept. And then he lost to the Pistons again. But they beat the Pistons the third time and they went to the finals because Pippen added more points and Jordan played a lot more physical. He got bigger, he got stronger. Then he started playing more minutes and he started saying, listen, I don't want to play against the Pistons no more. I want to go to the championship. I want to win a championship. So he motivated Pippen. Pippen averaged 22 points a game. I think he averaged like 3 steals a game or something like that. And he averaged like around 7 assists. But see, one thing about Scottie Pippen, I love Scottie. He's my favorite small forward of all time. Period. He's my favorite small forward. But one thing about Scottie Pippen, he was challenged by Michael Jordan. He was challenged by the best player. He's like, listen, if you want to be alongside with me, you got to show me your potential. You got to dig down and play some defense. That's why Jordan and Pippen is the two greatest 1-2 punch on defense of all time. Because you have Jordan that could, well, honestly, Jordan didn't really guard anybody because Jordan really probably guarded the weakest person on the floor that actually didn't shoot that much. Pippen probably played the power forward, he played the small forward, he also played guards, he also guarded, 2 guards also. But Pippen was really good at taking charges. I think he was the best at taking charges. But people don't understand one thing that Pippen did that everybody think LeBron did: chase down blocks. LeBron James didn't do more chase down blocks than Jordan. My fault, Scottie Pippen. They have videos of Scottie Pippen doing chase down blocks. Almost an hour video of him doing chase down blocks. LeBron James has not done that. He only has been doing, I think he only did it a few times. But he didn't do it like Pippen used to do it. Pippen used to just, he used to get caught for fouling somebody for chase down blocks. LeBron James will chase down block, but he'll chase down block somebody smaller than him. You gotta understand. And I always say this about LeBron. I don't hate on LeBron James. I think LeBron James is a magnificent player. I think he was better with the Heat. I think that's the best team he ever played with. Was with the Heat. And I think that was when he was a better defender. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year that year. He should have at least won one Defensive Player of the Year. And I think LeBron should have had one Defensive Player of the Year. And that was when he played for the Heat. But he didn't. They never gave a Defensive Player to Pippen for some reason. But he was 12-time Defensive Player first team. But they never gave him a Defensive Player of the Year award. And I wish he could have probably won 5 of them. Because that's how great Pippen was. Jordan won 1. Jordan led the league in steals. I think he led the league in steals 3 times. He averaged 2 point something steals a game. Pippen led the league in steals, I think, twice. Pippen was a great defender on the perimeter, and he could defend an interior. But Pippen had problems guarding against somebody bigger than him. The only reason why he probably played well against somebody who was bigger than him, because Pippen always would move around in the post. He would always play behind the person that got, in the post, and he'll just move around to get the player confused of where he is, because, players will try to feel where the defender is, and people will end up stealing the ball. He got long fucking arms and hands. Jordan, like I said before, Jordan wouldn't guard the person that shot the ball real well. He'll play off ball. He'll play gap. So if he probably play moderate, or he'll play gap. So Jordan will usually play in between the 3-point line and the paint. So Jordan does a lot of roaming. That's why Jordan got beat a lot. People don't understand. Jordan got beat a lot in steals. He got beat a lot because Jordan will always try to steal the ball from every fucking body. And sometimes he'll, mistime it, and somebody will lay the ball up, or somebody will dunk the basketball, or Jordan will be called for a foul because Jordan misjudged, the person with the ball, and he'll smack the ball down, and they'll call foul. So Jordan used to get beat sometimes, and Jordan couldn't guard a lot of small players. If he had a guard like Starks. People don't understand. Starks was a good player that played for the Knicks. Jordan had problems guarding him. Even though Jordan used to burn him for points, Jordan never liked guarding Starks. He didn't like guarding small guards. He didn't like guarding Iverson. He didn't like guarding players that were faster than him. And Jordan liked to play somebody the same size as him. But Jordan was really good at roaming. That means he will, like Iverson used to do. Iverson was great at roaming. Iverson will never guard his man. Iverson will roam. And Iverson will get steals off of that. Pippen will do the same thing, or Pippen will probably switch. Pippen always will switch. So Pippen will always switch, guard one player, then he'll guard another, and then guard another. And then Pippen will come off and block the shot, or he'll steal the ball. See, this is the reason why I believe defense back in the 90s was so hard to play, because you had to use so much stamina, and defense is harder to play than offense. Everybody think offense is easy to play. How? The only thing you do is run down the court and you shoot a basketball. Now, the physicality part about offense, if you're driving into the lane, you get knocked to the floor like they did back in the 80s and 90s when they're playing more physical. I understand that. But when you're playing, you know, defense in the 90s, physicality was, it was harder for you to score. And that's what I miss about basketball. People always say, "Oh, they're playing rugby, or they're playing hockey, or they're playing this type of sport. They should be playing that in basketball." I'm like, see, there's a lot of younger generation don't understand where basketball came from. Basketball didn't come from them tit for tat. And even in the 60s, which a lot of people like to say they played against a lot of garbage men, there were a lot of people that were mailmen. They used to play very, very physical back in the 60s. Very, very physical. There wasn't even a lot of shots even drove to the rim. It was a lot of jump shots back then. Because a lot of the players that drove to the rim were knocked on their asses, because that's the reason why you had the Jerry Wests, you had the Elgin Baylors, you had them players like they will actually attack the basket, but they go back out to that perimeter. It wasn't even a lot of shoot back then, but it was a lot of points scored. But it was a lot of 3-point shots, a lot of jump shots scored. Then you got into the 80s, then you got to the 70s, basketball fell apart because you got the ABA and the NBA, and plus the NBA wasn't that big because they were trying to take teams from the ABA and put it into the NBA, like players from the ABA, put them in the NBA. And then you got the 80s with Larry Bird, Dr. J, and Magic Johnson. That's when the league started becoming like superior. And then in the late, probably around the mid 80s, you had Jordan come in, Charles Barkley come in, Hakeem Olajuwon come in, then Clyde Drexler, John Stockton. They all came in, and then basketball started getting more physical. Because listen, I believe the league started making the game more physical because of Michael Jordan. Not because the league was, not fantastic at the time. They knew Jordan was putting up 40 points a game. Nearly 40 points a game. So what did they do? They said, you know what? We got to stop this motherfucker. We got to make sure this motherfucker doesn't be the best. Or he has to prove that he's the best. We're going to make the game physical. So the NBA put in more of physicality. Even the Jordan rules were even in the NBA. They didn't have to have a Jordan rules. Because even the Knicks even did the same things in the mid 90s when they were being physical to Jordan. A lot of teams like the Heat, all of them were physical to Jordan. Charlotte, they were physical. The Sixers, they were physical to Jordan. Every team that played against Michael was physical to Michael because Michael Jordan was the best player on the team. What do you do with the best player on the team? You make sure you knock that motherfucker down. You make sure that motherfucker doesn't get any shots. You make sure he goes to the foul line, and you punish him. Why people just want players to just drive in the lane and score points? Coaches always tell you, never let a player score easy at the basket. Well, you're standing right there at the basket with the player laying the ball up. See, in today's basketball, you got these players laying the ball up so easy. You got the players, doing fadeaways so easy. 3-point shots are being shot so easy. I'm like, physicality is supposed to start when you're pressing the ball from 90 feet. Trapping. Double teaming. Putting pressure on the ball. Even if you got to knock the player to the floor, there's nothing wrong with it. It should just be a foul. But see, one thing they like to do is call it flagrant. When they create the flagrant foul, they put a fine behind it. That's the reason why I'm like, damn, that's where they messed up the game. They messed up the game by using flagrant fouls. You should never use flagrant fouls for the NBA. So what, the player hits the floor? They get paid millions of dollars of playing the sport. They got doctors. So you telling me them doing this load managing shit through the last couple of years, like Leonard and LeBron and all them doing this load management, did that show that them being tough? No, because Jordan and them didn't do that back in the 90s. They didn't load manage. And the game was more physical, and the game was played with 82 games, including the playoffs. That's nearly 100 games. So basically, you got players coming in, playing 82 games, plus another add-on to, 16 games? So so they were playing, like, nearly 100 games. And then you got the finals, and these players were playing every fucking day with bruises, broken arm, broken bones, broken fingers, broken toes. All these players are broken noses. These players are playing basketball every single day without complaining. Then you got the year 2000. Then you got these players complaining about, oh, my foot hurt, oh, my toenail hurt, oh, my eyelash hurt, oh, my hair hurt. There's always something in the NBA that they said, well, last year when the Oklahoma City Thunder won the championship, or not, or even this year when the Knicks won the championship, which I can't stand the Knicks. It's like the Knicks never won a damn championship. They won in the 70s when Phil Jackson was on the fucking basketball team. And they still pumped up and saying, oh, we won a championship. Yes, y'all won two, just like the Sixers won two. They won with Will and they won one with Dr. J. It's like they get so pumped. Then you got them talking trash about how good their team is. You gotta understand the league today. The league is nothing. There's no good teams in the league today. I don't care about Wamba. I don't care about if Altatucupo went to Miami or LeBron went to the Philly. It doesn't matter. The league is still trash. There's no physicality. You got players sitting on the 3-point line, don't even cut to the basket. They're trying to play full court press now, which they really can't play full court press because you can't really play full court press anyway because you only got 8-second clock. So you really can't play full court press. Then you can't trap nobody because they don't trap nobody in the NBA anymore. How do you play basketball and y'all don't trap? How do y'all play basketball when y'all play full court press? How do you play basketball on defense and you don't play physical? It doesn't make difference. They said, well, they don't want to get fined. I'm getting fined because the game is based on physicality, on defense. You're not going to sit there and let a player go to the basket easy. You're supposed to knock that motherfucker's ass to the fucking ground. And yes, I've seen it happen. I've seen the fights. You know, even the Malice at the Palace with Artest. Even when Jordan fought Reggie Miller, when Reggie Miller fought Kobe, Shaq fought Barkley, Shaq fought Oakley, I seen all that shit. See, that was basketball. You don't even got fights today. They just push the players away. They say, oh, because they don't want no fines. These players are not what the players was in the past. They don't have a Charles Oakley. They don't have a Dennis Rodman in this era. They don't have the players that they had in the past, like a Rick Mahorn, you know, or a Lambert. They don't have players like that in this generation. They don't have enforcers. The player that gets in a fight, another player will come over there and slap the shit out that player, and next thing you know, it's a big brawl. Even the coaches used to get in brawls. That's what basketball was about. That's what people really. It's like you go to a hockey game without seeing a fight. Or you go to a boxing match and they're fighting, they're slap boxing. That's basketball today. It's like you going to a motherfucking boxing match but they're slap boxing, or you going to a hockey game and they're not fighting. You want to see something in the fucking sport. Why does rugby over there in Australia a physical sport? Why is croquet a physical sport? And they just hit a baseball with a big ass bat, but they still fight. I saw fights in croquet. Even tennis still has physicality when they be arguing with the referees or the players be arguing with each other. That basketball and football even got them. See, football has been taken away from their physicality because they said they're trying to protect the players because of injury. See, basketball is different to me because I believe basketball, the only time you probably will be out for a long period of time if you got an Achilles injury or a very bad knee injury, or you break your leg, or you break your arm, or you have an injured finger on your shooting hand. But I remember as a basketball player that got in a car accident. That motherfucker came and played. The next fucking... I'm going to do a video about that. He came and played an NBA game with a fucking neck brace on his fucking neck. I'm still shocked that he played with a neck brace on his neck during an NBA game, but you got kids today complaining about how physical basketball is. I played basketball out in the street. You got these kids complaining about, oh, don't touch me. Oh, hey, you trying to hurt me? Oh, because these kids be really believing they're going to make the NBA or make billions of dollars just because they can play basketball in high school, or they play in the youth league, and they think they're just better than everybody. But when you play against somebody that actually played basketball in the past during the 90s, and even if you got jail people that play basketball in the 90s that are very physical, by throwing you fuck around, they complain. That's why I can't play against young people. They complain too damn much. They don't like to be touched. They think that you are not supposed to play defense. You're supposed to let them score. I'm supposed to not allow you to get to the basket, but shit, that person that's playing one-on-one with me, he gonna get mad at me. Oh man, old head, you a hack. You a hack, old head. Oh, you smacking me. Nigga, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's basketball. Hand is part of the ball. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Sometimes you bring the ball up in the air and I'm trying to steal that bitch. Your hand is in the fucking way. Move the fucking hand out the fucking way. I won't smack you. Stop trying to do some stupid ass, crazy ass layup. You know what I mean? And stay in the air for 15 seconds and I'm trying to block the shot. Yeah, I'm going to actually make contact with you. That's part of the game. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between my generation and today's generation of basketball. Even the millennials even have a different type of, physicality of basketball. But at least they know it's physicality. But today's generation, they think that nobody's supposed to touch them. Oh, that's what they did to Michael Jordan? Man, they messed Michael Jordan up. They're supposed to do that to Michael Jordan. He was the best player on the fucking team. The best player on the planet. Yes, you get the best player out of the game. They wasn't paying no fines back then. There was no ejections. So you go after the best player. You not trying to knock him the fuck out. That's what they did in football. Remember the body bag game with the Philadelphia Eagles? Remember the New Orleans body bag game? Where they got fined and many other things that happened to New Orleans where they went to play against fucking Brett Favre and the Vikings and they fucking killed Brett Favre, broke his leg. This is sports, man. You get paid millions of dollars. You think you're supposed to just go play basketball, come home healthy? No. No, because basically in the future, you're going to have problems with your body regardless anyway. You're going to have CTE. You're going to have knee problems. You're going to probably have knee surgery, hip replacement. You're going to have something going on with you once you retire from sports. So you might as well get your money's worth by being physical. That's why I believe people don't like Michael Jordan because they think he had it easy. You out of your damn mind. If you've never seen Jordan play a basketball game, I know a lot of people say, well, I see when he played with the Wizards. Okay, Jordan played 2 years with the Wizards, right? He played 1 year that he almost took the Wizards to the playoffs until he tore his, he messed up his knee. Then he had surgery. He had to end the season because he got in surgery. The next year, his team didn't make the playoffs. But he played all 82 games at 42. LeBron James never played a whole full season. I think he only played it twice. And this man was way younger than Jordan and way younger than Kobe. And he only played two 82-game seasons until they started shrinking the seasons because they started bitching about how long the season is. What is wrong with y'all? Baseball has 162 fucking games. And you hear baseball players complaining? Only thing they're complaining about is they hoping they don't get a fucking a cat. That's all they complain about. They're not worried about the season. Hockey's the same way. Well, they shrink some of the schedule of hockey too. I don't know why. But why are you shrinking the schedule? Just because these players complain. The owners, number one, are paying these players to play. But now you got the players, the ones that say, look, I don't want to play. I want to play 82 games. None of the motherfuckers complained about that 82 games years ago. Even when they had fucking the 1960s when they had 82 games. They only have, I think they only had 12 teams? The NFL had 11, the NFL had 12 teams when they had the AFL and the NFL. 12! And they played 14 games. Until they made the schedule 16, now the schedule's 18. They only played 14 games. Did not complain. They didn't make a whole bunch of motherfucking money either. Why the players in the past didn't make a goddamn, barely a cent of money, barely didn't make endorsements, but they have not complained about any motherfucking, you know what I mean, anything. They have not complained about anything back then. Nothing. They complained about nothing. And they didn't make no money. All they did was smoke cigarettes and drink. before a game started. Jordan used to smoke cigars before he played. You know what I mean? Jordan used to get drunk before he played the game. He used to play like 50 rounds of golf before he played the game. Still put up like 30 something points. Still had like 3 steals, 5 blocks. He was probably drunk or having a hangover. We still don't know what happened to him during the fucking flu game. I think he had a hangover. That's the reason why he was sick. He had a hangover. But I think he still scored like 30 something points. And he won the game. Being over a hangover. Didn't complain. I'm going to play anyway. But you got players today, oh, my toe. Oh, you out for 5 games. Oh, my hand. Oh, you out for 12 games. Oh, my eyelash. Oh, you out for the season. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with these kids? Y'all make all this money, and then y'all want to stop playing sports, and then y'all want to go into podcasting. Then if that don't work, then y'all want to just sit home and don't do nothing with y'all life right after that. Because podcast is not going to work for everybody. Only for the top-notch stars, probably, because their names are always going to be noticed. Like, my boy Carmelo, Draymond, Paul George. You know what I mean? Even, they retired of all 1,000 years ago, Arenas. Even Kwame Brown has a podcast, and he wasn't a great player in the NBA. And he has a podcast that's very popular. Everybody think they can make podcasts because they make a little bit of money. Then they retire because the money they get, but they know that once the checks stop coming in, you got to find a job. They think they can live off these checks. They think they can lay off the endorsements is going to stop coming because sometimes the endorsements, they don't want you no more. They're going to probably try to get somebody else who's probably younger. But see, this is what I'm talking about. The NBA, I don't know, because like I said before, Jordan's a phenomenon. There will never be a Michael Jordan ever again. There will never be a Kobe again. Rest in peace to Kobe. It will never be them two ever again because you know what? They changed the aspect of basketball. I'm not saying Magic Johnson, Larry Bird did, because they did too. Dr. J. Nobody even talks about Dr. J anymore. And Dr. J is one of the greatest players that ever motherfucking played the game. And they don't even talk about him. They don't talk about Wilt, because they say Wilt played against smaller players. Who gives a fuck? That motherfucker dominated. Who cares who he played against? But nobody's talking about what LeBron played against. James played against small players too. And he still lost. He lost, 6 championships? These players that were, even teams that were not even better. Everybody said, well, this is what Shannon Sharp said. Well, he never was on a team that actually, they said that he wanted to win a championship. That's kind of fucked up. If you're on a team that the media think that you wasn't going to win, or even the fan base thought you wasn't going to win, that's sad. Jordan went through that too, probably a few years. I think it was with the Lakers, and I think the Jazz. No, Lakers, I think it was the Lakers and Portland. That's when they thought Jordan was going to lose between them two teams. But the rest of the teams that Jordan played against, everybody knew that Jordan was going to win. But it was Portland and fucking the Lakers that they said that the Bulls were going to lose. Because the Bulls lost the first game against the Lakers. And everybody said, well, the Lakers were going to sweep the fucking Bulls. And guess what? The Bulls ended up winning, I think, 4-2. See, this is what I mean. This is why this is why I don't like when I watch these videos and these kids now talk about how great Michael Jordan is. But I say you can't say he's great because you're watching videos of mixtapes of him. You gotta watch him playing in a game, a full season of him playing different games. And watch what he has done from 84 up to when he retired in 2002. You gotta watch all them games. Like, even when he played for the Wizards, people thought he was a bum with the Wizards. How was he a bum with the Wizards? He almost took the Wizards to the playoffs. He got hurt. He tore his meniscus. So he had to get surgery, so he had to sit on the sideline. And he didn't come back to the following season. And he played 82 games, but he retired. And he retired in great fashion. He had a fucking Jordan tour, and it was probably one of the greatest tours of all time for a basketball player or even an athlete. This motherfucker got so much recognition through the time that he came into the league, until he retired. He played 16 years of basketball. 13, well, about 15. He played 15 years. First, he played 13 years with the Bulls. How do you play 13 years, win 6 championships, retire twice, then you retire, come back, play for the Wizards in 2 years, and you almost made the team, make the playoffs, had the best defense in basketball. I think they had the number 6 defense in basketball, and you get hurt, but the team fell apart once he got hurt. Then he comes back the following season. The team wasn't that good, but he still was winning a couple of good games, scoring 50 points. Sometimes games he scored 50 points. And then the motherfucker retires. Now, people are watching videos of Michael Jordan saying, oh, I wish we had Michael Jordan back. Stop that. This younger generation never seen him. So you can talk about how great LeBron is. I watched Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and I seen LeBron when LeBron was drafted. And I said LeBron James is going to be a great player one day. I said maybe he could become better than other players, but he was never going to be better than Jordan. He was never going to be better than Wilt. He was never going to be better than Bill Russell. Never that. Remember, he has 11. People say, well, he won with motherfucking us. He won with fucking Hall of Famers. Did you know they didn't make the Hall of Fame until after they retired? Larry Bird won with Hall of Famers after he retired. Remember, they went to the Hall of Fame after he retired. So they wasn't considered Hall of Famers when he was playing on a team. Because they didn't do all that shit. Well, this future Hall of Famer. No, they never said that. They said that, Larry Bird was the best player on the team. And that's what Magic Johnson was. The best player on the team besides Kareem. But Kareem, before Magic came, Kareem was the best player on the team. Even though he didn't win a goddamn championship before he got fucking Kareem. But he won a championship with Oscar Robertson. His first year with Milwaukee, second year in Milwaukee, he won a championship because he was MVP his first year, and he won the championship. But for the first time he won a championship, and he was MVP his second year. Then he went over to the fucking Lakers. He didn't win a championship until he got Magic. Jordan didn't win a championship until he got Scottie Pippen. But how long did it take Michael Jordan to win a championship with Scottie Pippen? Like about 5 years. 5 years. It took Jordan to win a championship with Scottie Pippen. But people want to say, oh, he won a championship with Scottie Pippen. I told you, without Scottie, he would never won. No, he would have never won one without Scottie Pippen. Like I said, we don't know what would happen if Jordan got another player like Scottie Pippen, because those players out there. Imagine him playing with Charles Barkley. Imagine him playing with Magic Johnson. Imagine him playing with Larry Bird, the younger Larry Bird, and the younger Magic Johnson. Imagine him playing with Shaq. Just imagine Jordan was playing with Shaq if he didn't have Scottie Pippen. What if the Bulls drafted Shaq? How many championships they would have won? People forgot about Shaq. Jordan could have won with a lot of players in the 90s. But you look at today's game, that I really believe that the only thing that really drives me crazy about the league is that when LeBron went to Miami, it really destroyed the chemistry of basketball when players were winning on teams that, even though they said the Houston Rockets were actually a super team, I can't ever say that because, number one, Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler played on the same team in college when they played for Houston. University of Houston. They played on the same damn team in college. So I can't really call them a super team, because they were good in college. And I can call Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, because Chris Bosh was averaging 20 points a game and 10 rebounds before he was pushed over to Miami. But he was supposed to be a role player, because it was supposed to have been LeBron James and Dwayne Wade until they got Chris Bosh. Then he went over to get Cleveland when he got Kyrie. Kyrie was a lot younger, and he got Kevin Love. See, Kevin Love was already an all-star for his team. When he played for Timberwolves, he was averaged like 40 rebounds a game. And they're considered him the next Dennis Rodman. And then you had Kyrie, considered the next Iverson. Great ball handler. Great attacker of the basket. Made the last shot in the game to actually help them win the championship. Should have been MVP that year in the finals when he shot that ball over Curry. But they wanted to give it to LeBron so fucking bad. And I think that's the envy that Kyrie had against motherfucking LeBron, because he should have won that MVP. Then when he goes to LA, he gets Davis. Davis was already averaging like 20-something points a game when he was playing with New Orleans. I mean, people forgot about Anthony Davis were averaging like what I think like 20 and 15 or something playing with motherfucking New Orleans before he got traded over there to motherfucking Lakers. So the players that LeBron played with were already established before he got them. But people want to say that he carried. Even I just watched this video about the fucking Cleveland Cavaliers when LeBron played with them and took them to the championship. Did you know Cleveland had the best defense in basketball that year? That LeBron James went to the finals with them, and they even kept the motherfucking I forgot what team they played against Spurs. They kept the Spurs to 89 fucking points. LeBron James only averaged 20 points in that finals. 89 motherfucking points that kept the Spurs from scoring, right? But LeBron James only averaged 20-something points in the finals, and he had 0 points in the fourth quarter. He averaged 0 points in the fourth quarter against the Spurs, which, honestly, the Cavaliers should have beat the Spurs the first time they played them. But LeBron played the first time in the finals. He should have beat them. They only allowed the Spurs 89 points because they had the best defense in basketball. But they keep on talking about LeBron James carried that team. Yes, he probably puts the points up, but defense wins you fucking champions. If LeBron James would have at least put up 27 points a game, or at least 30, they would have won the finals his first time. But he didn't do that. But they want to blame the Cavaliers team because they had no good players. How do you have the best defense in basketball? You get to the finals with the best defense in basketball, only allow a team 89 points throughout the finals, but your player, the best player in the world, can't even score 30 points a game to help you win the game. Missing foul shots, missing key layups, missing key just by hitting the side of the backboard. Why is it that people don't look at it and say, you know what, the Cavaliers were a good team, but LeBron faltered at the time that they needed LeBron to actually put up points on the board so they could have won, but they want to just say, oh, that Cavaliers team wasn't good. They didn't. They were that team reminded me of the motherfucking 76ers of 2001 when they went to the finals with Iverson, when they had the best defense in basketball, and Iverson was averaging the year he won the MVP that year when they went to the finals, even though they should have lost to fucking Carter. Should have lost to Carter in that conference finals when he missed that last shot. But I'm saying that Iverson's team for the 76ers in 2001 should had the same fucking type of team like the fucking LeBron James Cavaliers when he first went to his first championship. But guess what? People want to sit up there and dog the Cavaliers because LeBron James couldn't put the team on his shoulders like he did against Dallas, like he did against the Spurs, and he did against Golden State. People say, well, Golden State had the red. So the fuck what? If you're the best player in the world, you should be able to beat that team that was the greatest team. Oh, but he came back from 3-1, but they didn't have Durant. He couldn't beat Durant. They had Durant, but Durant got hurt. But they couldn't beat that Golden State team, right? But they sit there and talk shit about, oh, well, you know, LeBron James, he got, you know, LeBron James, you know, he tried. I mean, he tried to win. No, he didn't try to do shit. He won 4 titles. Now, if you play with the Sixers and win the championship, he'll win 5. But I think he's going to play another season because he wants to win 6. He wants to tie himself with Jordan. And I think that when you get in the NBA, when you're the best player in the fucking world, you're supposed to chase rings. I don't give a fuck if LeBron James played on the Golden State Warriors. Why are people talking about how LeBron James is chasing rings? Let him. Who cares? He wants to have 6 rings. Let him go for his 6 rings. I don't care if he played for Miami. I don't care if he went back to Cleveland. I don't care. If he would have been going at the ring, so what? That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do as an athlete. You're supposed to be chasing championships. I don't give a fuck if Michael Jordan has 6. I don't care if Bill Russell has 11. Jordan got his 6. He wasn't chasing 11 because he knew he couldn't get the 11. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has 6 championships. We forgot about that. Jordan's tied with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in championships. But he wasn't trying to beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in championships. He just wanted his six because he also just wanted to beat. I think he just wanted to beat Magic Johnson because Magic Johnson had 5. But the thing is, ring chasing, no, because I don't think LeBron was ring chasing. I think LeBron James was going to teams that will help him try to get a ring, and I don't care. I think any player would have done that. You know, it's not like a lot of players out there like Charles Barkley try to get a ring. You know what I mean? And all other players like Gary Payton went out there to get a ring when he played for Miami and he won a championship with Miami. Didn't win one with Seattle, but he went out there to Miami and won a championship. But nobody complained about him chasing rings. But now when LeBron is going out there trying to get his rings, because he only got 4, Shaq went out there and went to Miami, got a ring. Nobody said he was ring chasing. So why wasn't it wrong that LeBron is doing the same thing? It's not wrong. LeBron James should go out there and try to get rings because that's what the sport is about. For you to win championships, not for you to make a whole bunch of money and then make a whole bunch of stats and then retire. He wants to win a ring again. Let him do what he wants to do in his own time. Leave that. Now I used to get on LeBron. Now I'm going to defend LeBron. Leave the man alone. I don't give a fuck what team he plays for. Leave LeBron alone. Let him go and try to get his rings. He's never going to be better than Jordan. He's never going to be better than Kobe. He's never going to be better than Bill Russell. He's never going to be better than Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. He's not going to be better than them. But let him get his rings because that's what he is in the league to do is get rings. I don't give a fuck how many teams you go to. It's not his fault that he goes to teams that are, probably got some good players because that's what the NBA has today. They got a lot of stacked teams. So even if he went back to Cleveland, it was a stacked team. If he went back to fucking, when we went to Miami, a stacked team. It didn't matter. Let him win his ring. If he wants to win, let him win. I'm not a LeBron fan at all. But I'm getting sick and tired of people going after LeBron. Every single time they don't like what LeBron is doing because they don't go to his team. Oh, he didn't come to Miami. You got people in Miami don't like him. You got Cleveland fans hating him. You got Laker fans hating him. And you got all these other teams hating him because he wouldn't stay with the Lakers or go to these other teams. He chose the Sixers. So everybody hate him now. Oh, what's wrong with the Sixers? Sixers went to the second round last year. Sixers are probably the only team people actually think that might can be able to go to the finals. Besides the Knicks in the East. Even if they did, you don't know. I always say, we don't know what LeBron's going to look like playing with the Sixers. We don't know because the season hasn't started yet. November ain't here. So football starts tonight. Hall of Fame game, Arizona against the Panthers. Football starts tonight. Period. Fuck basketball. Fuck baseball. Fuck hockey. Football starts tonight at 8 o'clock. And I'll be watching it. My favorite sport is football. Basketball is second. Well, really between boxing and basketball, I'll probably choose boxing over basketball because I love boxing. I boxed for like 3 years. So I love boxing better than I like basketball because basketball has changed through the years and basketball used to be my favorite sport besides football. Then came boxing, then came baseball. But like I'm saying, if I go up this thing, Jordan is the greatest player, hands down, of all time. Not taking away from any of these other players that have played and won championships. But every time I watch videos that these kids watch, and they're so shocked the way Jordan played the game, half of these kids really be thinking that Jordan is, they be AI and Jordan in some of these videos. Oh, it's an AI. Oh my God, it's virtual reality. Oh, it's not real. They just added some player, that's added Jordan into these videos doing these layups, but it's not really him doing these layups. And I'm like, wow. I said, I don't know how you can do an AI with Michael Jordan, and all the videos are like old videos that you can barely see the videos because they're so grainy. So how can you sit there and say that these videos are AI? It's going to be hard to actually AI videos that are old because they're on videotapes. Now these videos right here you can't do because they're on YouTube. You can't, unless you take it from YouTube and then you do some software shit. But you can't do that from them grainy videos that are on VHS tapes. Unless you put it on a CD, then you do it. But they don't do that shit no more. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. To me, I think it's Michael, Kobe, and everybody else. You know what I mean? I love, but I go by the centers of, uh, well, I gotta put Russell, Wilt, then Shaq. If I go by position, I got all my positions that I think that are great. I got Pippen and LeBron. That's my two guards, my two forwards. My point guards, I got Magic Johnson, and I got Jason Kidd. Those are my point guards. You know what I mean? And my two guard, my small forward, my power forward. I didn't do power forward. Who's my power forward? Charles Barkley. Who else I got the power forward? Damn, I really gotta start looking at who's my other power forward. Cause I do have Charles Barkley. I might do a Karl Malone, because I'm not a big Karl Malone fan, but Karl Malone was a beast back then. And like I said, I got Bill Russell, and I got Wilt. I love Shaq to death. Shaq is going to be, between Shaq and Wilt, I love Wilt. Because Wilt did some shit that nobody has ever done in their career. I'm talking about all NBA players. He only won 2 championships, but he did things that everybody talk about what Michael Jordan has done, but nobody knows that Wilt has done some shit, like in points wise, averaging 80, 70, 90, 100, and he did average. And people say he never. Yes, he did. He did 100. He did a 100-point game because at Hershey Park, that's probably not that far away from here. He had done that game inside of a stadium because they didn't have cameras around that time. Remember, back then they didn't have video cameras like they have today. And a lot of, and he was young around that time. And he never missed, they said he didn't miss a foul shot. That's why he scored 100 points, because he made all his foul shots. Because Wilt was never great at shooting foul shots. He's like what's his name is? LeBron James and Shaq is not great foul shooters. He wasn't a great foul shooter. So he made all his foul shots that night. That's why he had 100 points. They say he had like 50-something points in the first half. And then he ended up having another 50 in the second half. And he scored 100 points. But I don't understand why people don't believe that he did it. Because people don't want a player like Wilt scoring 100 points because they believe that he could never do that. But as a player that was in prison, I forgot his name, he played in the NBA for a few years, was a great player. Then he started selling drugs. And then he got locked up. This boy scored 200 points. And even fucking Reggie Miller's sister scored 100 and something points in a college game. I forgot what game it was. It was Reggie Miller's sister. She scored over 100 points in a college game. So 100 points can be scored in a game. So why can the NBA All-Star game score over 200 points, but a player can't score over 100? You had Kobe almost scored 100 points. You almost had, what's his name, that played for Miami. He broke Kobe's record with 82 points. I mean, Wilt is the only one that has 100 points. And his record will never be broken. People say, oh, there's no proof. Yes, it is proof. It is proof that he scored 100 points. There's proof. You just gotta look for it. It's up to you to believe it or not. I'm off this thing. I'm gonna do a video about the dude with the broken neck that got in a car accident. That had a fucking neck brace around his neck, and he played in the NBA game. They actually have him at the foul line shooting a foul shot with a neck brace on. I'm gonna put that video up probably later on today. I forgot his name, but I will prove it to you that the NBA was a lot worse back then than it is today.